Ah, sausage.
Victory! The human didn't die.
I was pretty sure it was going to die.
Well, now we get to see it fight more robots.
Maybe later it will die.
Hello everyone, this is Attack the Backlog, the podcast where I, Marcus Nez, tries to make a dent in their backlog one game at a time. This episode is all about Clone Drone in the Danger Zone, a game about voxel robots beating the shit out of each other, all gladiator-like arena and all. There's more to it than that, but to spoil where the game goes would be doing y'all a disservice, and as much as the service I provide is worthy of dissing, I don't want to diss y'all servicely myself. However, if there's one thing I don't mind spoiling, it's just how much I love this game. Where the fuck did Clone Drone in the Danger Zone come from? Honestly, how did a nothing of a game become my favorite game of 2022 so far being August 20th of said year? Admittedly, I haven't played much this year and especially haven't played many critically acclaimed games, but I did play A Short Hike, which I did love, and yet somehow this game I never heard of and can safely assume you haven't heard of either topped even the most pleasant of video games out there. How? Why? What? Huh? When I decided to download and check out Clone Drone in the Danger Zone, I thought it might be good for a laugh, but little more than that. All I knew going in was that it was voxel based, you could destroy limbs on enemies, and they could do the same to you. Sounded fun enough, but just that fun enough. Something I'd probably get all the enjoyment I'd ever get from it after a half hour of play. Then I started playing and continued playing for 3 hours straight during my first stream. I was having a blast, even though I sucked horribly, a suckage I blame solely on chat for distracting me while I was playing. Sure, you could say it's my fault for engaging with chat, but fuck that and fuck chat. I'm of course kidding, but it was my distracted play that led me to taking 3 hours to complete chapter 1. Need proof that chat's an asshole? I ended up completing the rest of the game in under 2 hours when not giving chat my utmost attention, so actually fuck chat. Kidding? Or am I? The thing about Clone Drone in the Danger Zone, why it is as special as it is, and believe me, this game is fucking special, it's that it's so smartly designed that I regularly thought, wow, there were two choices the developers could have made here, and they 100% went in the right direction, and they did this 100% of the time. These choices may seem obvious and they may seem simple, but just because something is obvious doesn't mean it'll obviously be done, and just because something is simple doesn't mean it's easy. One of the greatest examples is the inclusion of friendly fire for both enemies and friendlies alike. You may be saying to yourself, can friendly fire really make that much of a difference? Or maybe friendly fire, that sounds like it would be annoying. These are both perfectly reasonable responses. Friendly fire can be very annoying at times and superfluous at other times, but that's not the case in Clone Drone in the Danger Zone. In Clone Drone, friendly fire lightens the challenge by allowing enemies to take each other out, while also lightening the mood by allowing enemies to take each other out. The number of times I saw death in my immediate future only to have it disappear thanks to an enemy killing one of their own is too high to count on my fingers and toes, I'll have you know. And while it can be nice having the enemy do your job for you, the real pleasure of friendly fire is in just how hectic and unique it makes every fight become. No two fights are alike because you never know how things will play out. Maybe things will go as planned and you'll kill everyone yourself with your sword, bow, or hammer, or maybe things will quickly get out of hand and an enemy bowman will accidentally shoot an enemy hammerman in the knee. Arrow to the knee, get it? Ha! I made it funny. Hobbling him and changing the direction of his attack in progress, leading him to take out two of his allies whose limbs take out another enemy, and well, you get the idea. There's this wonderful domino effect that can come into play and makes every single encounter exciting and unknown because you just never know how things are going to happen. This kind of organic gameplay can only happen because everything can interact with everything and the game is infinitely better for it. Another great choice made is persistence. What I mean by this is, as I've said earlier, you can lose a limb or two and still function well enough to keep fighting, and the same is true for those you're fighting. The thing is, this damage remains unless you choose to spend a skill point which you earn after each round in the arena and can spend between rounds on healing your robot instead of upgrading your robot. Upgrades include new weapons like a bow or hammer, improved stamina, a jetpack that makes dodging feel like ice skating, and a kick that'll give Leonidas a run for his money one can use to hire a butler. Gerard, what I did there? Really? I just decided to ad-lib Gerard, what I did there, as if Gerard sounds anything like C. Oh man, I am super rusty. You may think it's a waste to spend hard-earned skill points on healing, but the thing is, I really like saying the thing is, however, the thing really is, if you don't heal yourself, you may end up wasting your skill points anyway, because if you took damage to one of your arms, you won't be able to use your bow no matter how much you upgrade it, because you need two working arms to use your bow. This shows just how much thought the developers put into the game. Will some gamers be annoyed when they realize you don't heal for free between rounds? Sure, but I'm not one of them. I appreciate the fuck out of this. I appreciate that I can lose an arm and then buy a bow instead of healing for the next round, only to immediately realize I can't use the bow I just bought because I didn't think to heal myself first. Spoilers, healing is kind of stupid though, since you can also create clones of yourself, which are basically continues, and said clones are complete, so you're better off creating a clone for when you eventually die than healing yourself. Yes, you will have to keep fighting in your weakened state until you die, but you'll still be capable of beating any foe in front of you even though you're not at 100%, so why not believe in yourself and give yourself a continue rather than healing your first and only life. Just a little pro tip for all you future would-be danger zone adventurers. And this all leads us to the thing I don't want to talk about, the game itself. I'm talking about the story, where it goes and where it ends. The journey you take in Clone Drone in the Danger Zone is just as surprising as the game itself, if not more so, and to spoil any part of it would be doing a disservice, remember I talked about the whole disservice thing, to any would-be player. Because of this, the video you've been watching, if you're watching the video and not just listening to the audio version, contains only footage from the first chapter and no more. The story of Clone Drone in the Danger Zone is not only exciting because of where it goes, but incredibly enjoyable because the game has a wonderful sense of humor that never lingers too long on any single joke, always knowing when to shut up and let the game do its thing. Clone Drone in the Danger Zone is just a very well put together game that came out of nowhere to provide me with one of the most enjoyable experiences I've had not only this year, but in the last few years, if not more. It's games like Clone Drone in the Danger Zone I enjoy most when attacking the backlog, because as much as I love finally playing a game I already know many have played and love themselves, it's so much nicer when I can discover a game so few have played and can then share it with them and, well, everyone. Clone Drone in the Danger Zone is a game you probably have never heard of before today, but I hope by now you realize it's 100% a game you should know, and if you decide to play it yourself, I don't think it'll take you long to realize why. Anyway, that will do it for this here episode of Attack the Backlog. Once again, I am Marcus Nez. Y'all can find me on Twitter and pretty much everywhere at PX Sausage. If you'd like to see me streaming games like Clone Drone in the Danger Zone, you can do so right here on the YouTubes, which is where you're watching the video version of this show if you are in fact watching the video version. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell, and all that jazz if you haven't already. And you can find all my links of import over at pixelatedsausage.com/pxs. And if you enjoy any of the stuff I do and what have you, you can go over to patreon.com/pxs to support me and my nonsense that away. Anywho, thank you for watching or listening. I hope you enjoy this here episode, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Bye!